on this video. My name is Amaka and I love baking and reading. I've been reading since I can remember, but I know I got obsessed with books in junior secondary school about JSS2. Yeah, so I was obsessed with things like Harry Potter, Babysitter's Club, some Christian books, because then there were some Christian books that were like about rapture, that were scary, that people were really into. Yeah, so I read all those. I also read a lot of romance books. Yes, so I was one of those girls that used to read books like with my flashlights in the night. Yeah, I was one of those people. Yeah, so I've been reading for a long time, but I recently got obsessed again with books like about maybe 5 years ago. So yeah, that's who I am. On the baking side, I've been baking professionally for about 12 years. But I was baking like before I became professional. I used to bake for my siblings at home, bake during Christmas, bake during holidays when we had nothing to do, stuff like that. But now, apart from work, I run a bakery. So apart from work, I still bake at home in my spare time. Yeah, I love baking. Baking is great. Baking is good for you. So yeah, so I decided to start a channel for baking and reading, because I have so many friends that want to try out stuff and they keep reaching out to me, okay, how do I make this, how do I make that, how do I make that. Then another thing, I also feel offended when my friends like watch YouTube to get recipes for stuff. I'm like, if I had a channel, they could be watching my stuff. So I decided to have a channel to share my thoughts on books and share my recipes and share methods to make stuff. I've been dragging my feet on starting this, but it's finally here. If you like stuff like this, please like and subscribe. Send to your friends who also like stuff like this to support me. Thank you so much. So before I go, I would like to talk about all the books I read this month. Not this month, last month. Yeah, April. Okay guys, let's go. So last April I read 13 books, but I have 5 that I think you really have to read. So if you need a book that will have you staring at the ceiling deep in thoughts, this is a book for you. So the housemaid follows a young woman who was so desperate that despite all the red flags, she took a job as a maid for a family. So all the red flags were the woman that had her was blowing hot and cold, nice one day, very mean the next day. Her room was so tiny, it was smaller than Harry Potter's room, like tiny cupboard, tiny room. Then the only window in the room was so small and it was blocked, right? And the third one, the third red flag was that the lock to the door of her room was on the outside, meaning only people outside could lock her door. Crazy. There is a good reason why people always advise that you should mind your business. You have to read this book to find out. So this is the second book after The Housemaid. Was it necessary? I don't think so. Am I happy that she wrote it? Yes. Will I read the third book? Definitely yes. So the third book I think you need to read is The Bead Collector. I feel like this book was well written, was easy to read, fast paced. I really liked it, but I also felt like it was nothing was happening. I kept waiting for something to happen, but nothing was happening. It just felt like the main character was just us, her friends, about her other friends. But I also felt like I have never read any book where the history of Nigeria was explained this way. It was so easy to understand. She spoke about the Civil War, Biafra, Independence Day, all the soldiers, how young they were and how they took over Nigeria. It was crazy. So if you want to know more about Nigeria, you should read this book, but do your research once you're done though. Yeah, it was a good read. The next book I read was The Yellow Wife. It was a book club read and it was a very emotional read. I was sad most of it. It was about the challenges faced by a young slave girl, and most of the things that happened to her and happened to people around her will make your blood boil. Like you'll be so angry reading this book. So this is another sad book that will make your blood boil. It follows 5 siblings that were separated from their parents and taken to a home where they were now sold to other people. So the book just told us about the challenges they faced, especially the oldest one, what they went through at the home and where they were taken to. Then the sad part of this book was that this book isn't purely fiction. The home exists. The headmistress or the woman that sold them to people, she's a real person. It's all actually happened. Yeah, it was sad. So that's all for last month. Thanks for watching.